Fantastic. So after this delay, we're ready to start.
Thank you for your questions.
Thank you.
That's for you as well.
So, hello everyone. It is a great pleasure to be with you today. And our presentation is inspired by and infused with the ideas and contributions of the members of the GALA Machine Translation and Post-Editing Training Special Interest Group. For those of you who have not joined our session so far, this special interest group works as a common intelligence workshop based on the idea to bridge the MTP training gap for academia, buyers, LSPs, and post-editors, and to bring these groups together. So we're proud of GALA members as they embrace this initiative, and thanks to their contributions, we managed to bring to life and publish our common machine translation post-editing training protocol, which is available to all of you today. If you don't want where it is, we're going to send you something, an email to share the link. So the protocol will be updated this summer with the new insights brought to our industry with the advent of AI. And under this slide, we're going to talk to you about the impact of AI translation on academia, buyers, LSPs, and post-editors. Here. So first of all, we would like to thank GALA for the opportunity they gave us to implement our vision. A big thank you to Alison, Ali, Isabella, and Alicia, our online meeting moderators, for all their support. Special thanks to my co-moderator live and co-founder, Lucia Guerrero, Machine Translation Manager at Expedia Group, as I could not do it without her. And I'm very happy to be with her today after a long time, after 3 years of cooperation. So some words about us. So I'm Viveta Jean. I am Head of Partnerships at BureauWorks and PhD candidate at the Ionian University dealing with machine translation and post-editing and AI from the user perspective, trainer, and AI language solution specialist. So at BureauWorks, we are a company based in the US, and we have BWX, which is a cloud-based translation management system, leveraging the best of cutting-edge generative AI. All the benefits of AI within a secure, predictable, enterprise-grade framework. BureauWorks is the winner of the Process Innovation Challenge at Logworld 50, integrating MT, TMs, LLMs, GenAI, glossaries, and deep learning, everything. Along with tech innovation, we are innovating from the human perspective, placing translators at the heart of the translation process. And Lucia.
Thank you, Viveta. And again, thank you everyone for waiting, and thank you for attending this session. So my name is Lucia Guerrero. As Viveta said, I'm Machine Translation Manager at Expedia Group, which is one of the largest online travel companies, which is headquartered in Seattle in the US. And our mission is to power global travel to everyone, everywhere. I am part of the content and localization team, and we provide the localization services, also content generation and creation services for all our brands, partners, and travelers worldwide. And now, because we couldn't make it without our group representatives, let's welcome them and present them. As the Buyers Group representative, we have Christine Anselmi, who is MT Tech and Automation Manager at Electronic Arts. As the LSPs Group representative, we have Diego Cresceri, who is the founder and CEO of Creative Words. As the post-editor representative, we have Jessica Jakub, and today we have the pleasure to have her with us. I'm super nice that we finally met in person, who is the Director of Operations and Development at Bromberg and Associates. As the Academia Group representative, we have Parthina Charalampidou, who's Laboratory Teaching Fellow at the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. And that's new in this edition of our SIG because we are integrating AI. So now we have an AI Engineers Group representative, and his name is Fernando Velasco, and he is Data Science Team Lead at Electronic Arts. And
we are in the agenda.
Exactly. So now we're talking about AI. We hear about AI everywhere because AI is everywhere. Of course, we will start our presentation by describing the current state of the AI in the translation and explain what is exactly AI translation. Then we will go deep into the main topic of our session, which is what are the challenges and opportunities for language service providers in the era of AI translation. And this will open a new question. What is the role of AI translation, and how is it reshaping the whole post-editing process? So also ethical questions, of course, with an impact on academia and professionals. And then we will conclude our presentation with the magic word, which is adaptation. We will talk about how can we adapt to the evolving role of translators and editors in the age of AI, and which is our role in helping them adapt to this new role. So we would like to keep this session very interactive, and we will give you an idea of how our monthly meetings flow with Gala in our special interest group. And because we want to keep it interactive, at the end of the first part, which is actually a presentation, we have prepared for you an activity for full networking, and we hope you will enjoy it.
Okay, so let's start with the AI translation's influence. First of all, what is AI translation? Under the umbrella of AI in translation, we have machine translation, LLMs, Gen AI, and deep learning. Back in 2019, the Gala conference in Munich was focusing on AI, and at that time, not many people believed that machine translation was AI. Thus, AI is not something new, and it already exists. It is not anymore an innovation from a philosophical perspective. And it is here to stay, and we all want to understand the current state. So what is the profound impact of AI translation? We will start with academia. We witness the evolution of translation studies where traditional methodologies are infused with cutting-edge AI technologies. This evolution opens new avenues for research. So our main focus is the collaboration of human language and artificial intelligence, a co-creation state, as this is stated in the research of CEU. However, as we embrace these advancements, we must also acknowledge the existing training gaps, ensuring that future linguists and scholars are equipped to face the future. The technological advancements occur so rapidly that for academia it's hard to follow. The behavior of MT is still under research from the user's perspective, and the behavior of LLMs is still uncharted, with both of them to depend on use cases, data, and language pairs. So do we have trainers to train students? This is a question. Moreover, we must maintain a vigilant focus on quality and ethical considerations. As the output of LLMs is widely uncharted from a researcher's point of view, the quality is not known. The behavior of LLMs is not known, or to put it in more exact words, it is not predictable as the behavior of MT. It is dynamic. And this comes with ethical considerations which are not only related to the security of data. So moving forwards, let's continue with the buyers, Lucia.
Yeah, the buyers, what are we looking for, the buyers in AI? So we're trying to look for a cost-effective solution, and we're looking for how to integrate AI into our existing workflows. And if you've already attended some of the sessions this morning or this afternoon, you've seen that some of us have already shared some ideas, or how are we working already with AI. But there's still some areas of concern, areas where we still spot some limitations. So in the case of the buyers, we still have some quality assurance concerns, and I'll put you one example. What can be the threshold of quality that we can accept when we use an LLM, AI, for, let's say, machine translation or machine translation quality evaluation? How can we, or up to what extent can we trust AI on that? There's also a set of ethical considerations, and I'm not going to deep dive too much on those because we will have a full slide on that, but just to tell you that this is also a concern from companies. There's also training gaps. I want to say that it's also the buyer's responsibility, not only academia and LSPs, to continue training linguists and evaluators and annotators on how to work with AI. And last but not least, and I can tell because I spend a lot of time on that, expectations management. both with the stakeholders, so people who are expecting the localization departments of a buyer. Everyone is asking us to ingest AI into the workflow, so the expectations are like this. But you need to also educate them on where are the limitations.
And as we have probably many LSPs, let's turn our attention to the language service providers. And just to correct myself, by LSPs, we also mean translators, because translators are language service providers. So for LSPs, AI translation means a transformative shift in service offerings, from traditional translation services to specialized post-editing demands. LSPs are at the forefront of innovation. Collaborative work models emerge, emphasizing the synergy between human expertise and AI capabilities. As roles evolve and skill sets adapt, LSPs must navigate ethical considerations with integrity. Yet, training gaps persist, and they necessitate a commitment to ongoing skill development and professional growth. So we perceive that the influence of AI translation spans far and wide. It touches academia, buyers, language service providers alike. And in red on this slide, we can see that their challenges are common, like quality, ethics, and training. So now let's talk about the challenges and opportunities for LSPs in the era of AI translation.
Yeah, let's talk first about the challenges. So we wanted to specifically mention quality assurance as the top one, because we believe it's a paramount concern, because how can we ensure the accuracy and reliability of the AI-generated translations? Also, the impact on traditional translation business models cannot be understated. It's already there. As AI technologies disrupt established practices, LSPs need to adapt to this new transition. And also, finally, data security and confidentiality concerns, and they prompt us to build measures, to put in place the measures that are required to safeguard the sensitive information. But it's not also about the challenges, but also AI brings us very new opportunities. For example, LSPs can leverage the power of AI for efficiency gains, and it's already happening. They can integrate these technologies into their existing workflows to enhance productivity and streamline operations. They can also use AI to expand their service offerings to their customers. And also, the collaboration with AI technology providers is also an opportunity to leverage cutting-edge innovations. However, to leverage all these opportunities, how we can do that, how can LSPs can do that, they need to make an effort towards skill enhancement and training initiatives. Again, as we said, we are all responsible of training the linguists, the evaluators, the annotators. They need to invest in upskilling their workforce in how to work with AI, and they need to give them the knowledge and expertise about the complexities of AI translation. So we believe that client education and communication are key. We cannot do that without it, because also buyers need to be educated about the benefits and, most importantly, limitations of AI translation. As we said before, there's a lot of expectations management in this side. And LSPs need to be transparent about the use that they make about AI and to be able to build fruitful partnerships with their customers. And finally, again, the ethical considerations. We need to address concerns existing. I mean, these are real concerns about the bias or lack of cultural nuances of AI. And this is why LSPs need to be rather proactive in their approach to those ethical dilemmas. And at this point, Vivette, I think it's time to have a conversation with Jessica.
Yeah. We have Jessica and her contribution to the Post Editors Group so far all these years. It was really meaningful. So Jessica represents Bromberg & Associates, an LSP, and we would like to ask her to share with us her experience from the perspective of LSPs and post editors. How do you experience, Jessica, these challenges and opportunities in your company? And could you give us a real example from your experience about a challenge or an opportunity? Because normally storytelling is very interesting to our audience.
Yeah, of course. So from an LSP perspective, there's a lot of challenges and there's a lot of opportunities. The challenges begin with adoption of MT or AI, generative AI, whatever we're looking at. Linguists and companies and buyers and clients still have some sort of resistance to machine translation to begin with. And now there is more confusion as to what is the difference between machine translation and AI. How do I know you're not just using ChatGPT to localize my content? How do you charge me for this? How do you pay me for this? So I would say the challenges remain the same. They are just on a bigger scale now because we have to deal with machine translation. Now we have to deal with AI. The challenge working with linguists specifically and post editors is actually knowing when you are dealing with content that is AI generated. I have to say that linguists have had a lot of apprehension to machine translation. They've had a lot of resistance to machine translation. But when it came to AI, we've seen a lot of linguists jump on that wagon and be like, yes, this is awesome, this is efficient, this is great. We get sometimes content that's AI generated when that's not the agreement, that's not what we wanted, and then it's hard to identify that content sometimes. We have to really look through it to figure out if it's accurate, if it's a quality content. We have some issues if the linguists use generative AI, put our content in an engine where we did not explicitly allow that they do that. Additionally, Vivetta spoke about predictive content with MT. Because the engines are trained, you are able to sort of predict what kind of output you're gonna have. Even if it's poor output, you're gonna know, I'm gonna put this in this engine, I know I'm gonna get poor output, I know I'm gonna have to do heavy post-editing, or I'm gonna have to do light post-editing. With generative AI, it's almost impossible to know what's the output that you're going to get. You can have the same prompt, the same text put into ChatGPT or whatever AI you're using, and it's going to return a different output every time. You have very difficult time understanding what mistakes it makes, how it's generating that output, where it's pulling that information from, because the sheer amount of data that it's trained on is not something you have control over or access to. From the opportunity side, yes, expanding services and expanding offering, and even considering creating and localizing content in a target language rather than starting with the source and then translating and localizing and going through that process. We've had to think about it from a different perspective. Sometimes when the client is working with us on a project and maybe they want to really look at the audience they're translating and localizing for, and maybe they have glossaries and translation memories, but maybe that's not enough because it's a very specific target audience. So we may be able to say, let's create this content in that target language from the get-go rather than translate that content. And in some cases, that could be much more spot on, much more relevant, much more culturally appropriate, depending on the parameters you put for the AI and depending on the prompting that you're doing. And obviously, quality assurance is always number one. There's never going to be just raw output, whether it's machine translation or AI that you're just sending to your client or you're accepting from your linguist. There's always going to be a review process involved, and there's always going to be a quality assurance, an LQA done at every level of the process. One of the biggest challenges that we have is keeping up. I know that from a perspective of the LSP, from the perspective of a linguist, and I see both because I do both. It's hard to keep up with what's going on with the changes. even with upskilling, knowing that, okay, last year we were talking about prompt engineering and that this could be the next big thing. I haven't heard anyone speak about prompt engineering at this conference today because that's
true.
Mhm.
That's true.
really outdated now.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about some other things. So,
Mhm.
you know, some people may have gone and upskilled on prompting and now it's not really relevant. So keeping up with upskilling and training programs and designing training programs and filling those gaps from LSP buyers and academia is the biggest challenge that we find right now, and hopefully we can overcome that challenge altogether. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think she said it all. Okay.
Didn't meet.
So, let's continue our presentation. Okay, so now we discussed the challenges and the opportunities. With the advent of AI and the LLMs, we experience a transformation of the post-editing process. And we don't even know if this should be called post-editing or correction or co-creation. To name it, we need to understand the mechanism behind it, and this is an ongoing process. So we may not know the mechanism, but we do see the output and the benefits of AI translation powered by LLMs. And let's see if we all agree. AI-powered actions and features in translation can alleviate the burden of repetitive tasks. They can free up valuable time and resources for more strategic thinking and less typing. Automations enhance the productivity by streamlining workflows, optimizing resource allocation, and by automating routine tasks, such as basic translations and text alignment. AI empowers translators to focus their expertise on more complex linguistic challenges and maximize output and effectiveness. In addition to efficiency gains, AI translation ensures consistency and accuracy in the post-editing process. Furthermore, AI-driven translations improve fluency depending on data, use case, language pair, and by analyzing vast data sets and linguistic patterns, AI systems produce translations that are not only accurate, but natural and fluid. And lastly, the adoption of AI translation results in significant cost savings for organizations associated with labor and resource allocation. So this means operational efficiency. By automating repetitive tasks, reducing turnaround times, increasing productivity, ensuring consistency and accuracy, improving fluency, and reducing expenses, AI technologies are promising ongoing efficiency. So based on this slide, what you have probably understood is that I believe in the superpower of AI translation. Well, the answer is no. This is exactly what I would like you to think, that AI cannot in reality bring these benefits and has no superpower without trained users, linguists, managers, or buyers. So it is the strategies we use to leverage AI and translation technology that make technology efficient, and this is where we should invest more. So the slide you have in front of you is the result, but not the strategy. We reshape with decision makers using tools, not with tools being in the wrong hands. And this statement will take us to our next slide, to the role of the translator in this AI era, who is more of a thinker and less of a typist.
That's a very good statement, Viveta, I believe. So now, how do we adapt to the evolving role of translators and editors in the age of AI? We talked about that before a bit, so showcasing transparency is a must as a starter. We must embrace a culture of openness, and that goes for everyone, for LSPs, for buyers, for academia as well. We need to have clear insights into the use of AI tools and their impact on the translation process. So yes, transparency, but what does it mean? It means integrity. It means that our work is complying with the values of accountability and professionalism. And as we also mentioned, we need, or at least LSPs as a first, and they need to provide translators and editors with an AI-enhanced learning environment. We need to care about how to augment their skills and expertise. We need to support them into this journey throughout AI adoption. So upholding ethical standards cannot be negotiated, it needs to be done, and we need to respect that our work is conducted with integrity and respect for the linguistic diversity. Then, taking into account the training gaps, which is something that we always discuss during our special interest group, is actually the core topic of why we're here, training gaps. We should all embrace lifelong learning to meet the evolving demands of the industry. So if we invest in skill development, we can empower linguists and ourselves to address all this AI journey. And lastly, ethical considerations, because Viveta mentioned that before. What about the existing limitations of AI? What about privacy? What about bias and the lack of cultural sensibility? We need to stay vigilant.
And let's continue with, I think it is now the ethics and the ethical considerations. So we see that ethics is the big message of the presentation. And when we talk about ethics, we mainly talk about collaboration values. It is not only about the security of data, it is also about working relationships. If we say that security of data can be preserved by taking tech measures, this is in a way controllable. But how do we secure the professional ethics and morale of our industry? Is this controllable? So transparency, self-development, quality, trust, fairness are only some of the ethical values that we should stick to, not only in the AI translation era, but in any era. And by sharing these ethical considerations in the AI era, we would like to start our activity and interaction part with Slido. So we will give you some guidelines. So what we're going to do now is that you will group into tables of LSPs, buyers, and academia. If we have post-editors, they go with the LSPs. So you will need to move a little bit if you are not in the correct table to group tables of the same attribute. If you are all LSPs, you can just, have one single table full of LSPs.
Maybe we can ask the audience, any LSPs there? Raise your, most of them then. any buyers?
Fantastic. So just make sure that you are all together to have a full table of LSPs. And now what we're going to do is that we will be next to you to help you. You are going to assign a moderator for your table. And this moderator will note down the ideas. So we will open Slido for this activity, and we will work with the ideas on Slido. You will have a question. So let me see. Yeah, we can present, Lucia.
Pero, Viveta, you need to tell me which one I launch. Is this one? The first one. Okay, here we go.
Where do you want academia?
We have academia. Let's go here.
Oh, fantastic.
Here?
Yes.
No, I will be with you.
With academia, right?
With academia to make a.
I don't think there's any buyers, any table with buyers, companies. No.
No. LSP's loves.
LSP. Oh,
Okay.
fantastic. I mean,
So-
3 tables I think we can spare. So,
Yeah, fantastic.
shall I? Well,
So-
let's explain how it works first.
Yes. So you are going to. Let's see if we are
For
settled.
this activity,
Come here.
you need to connect to slido.com and type this number, right? Or use the QR code as you like, as you wish. And we are going to launch a question. Let's keep it on the screen for a moment so you can all grab the code. You need to go to slido.com and type 3565675, right? And then, let's go. Our question for you to work with is an ideal future, an AI-ideal future. What would you like AI to do for you? And just think about this question, because generally we have AI in our hands, and it's like the engineers came up with this shiny new toy, and now we need to figure out what we can make of it. So we want to ask you the opposite question. What would you like to ask engineers to change in AI to do for you? So take this as a chance, as if it was an open conversation with developers, with engineers.
How many words allowed?
I think it's not.
Is there a
there's not
limitation? I don't think there is one.
Yeah,
But
there is.
I think,
Okay.
but it's
Before
ideal.
you start, you have to talk. You have to.
Exactly. It's not an individual exercise, it's an exercise in groups.
Yeah.
Exactly, as a group. And then the representative will type on Slido.
Yeah.
Right?
So you talk, you decide, you write all the ideas on the table notes, and then the moderator of the table will pick the 5 best ideas to write them on the Slido. Okay? Good.
So control the time. Do we? Yeah, I'll go with 10 minutes. All right. Cool.
data
I would use it for ideas, but not for me to write the whole thing. Like, it gives the opportunity to search for hundreds of thousands of papers and give you certain ideas of what people do.
So time is up, and let's have your ideas and Slido to present the top 5. If you have less, it doesn't matter. 10. You can vote. Slido? Because on Slido we can see everything. Just one word, the summary. And then we present and... So, I will need another 10 minutes. What is 20? 5:20. What time is it now? We will try. Okay, so forget about Slido because we only have 6 minutes. We're going to do the following. You are going to give us from each table with one word like statement, the ideas, one after the other, just to listen to what you have. And we will go for the quiz because we have to finish. They don't allow us more time. 5:20. Okay? Okay. So you start. Yeah, you can start your table, ideas. Just throw the ideas.
Exactly.
Okay, so what we want AI to do for us is we want it to be integrated with the CAT tools that we currently use. For example, perform QA checks after machine translation is done or a translation. Things that worry about AI is reliability. Can we trust AI and to what extent? Then we're also worried about compliance, government regulations on data protection, and that sort of thing. And basically, the core idea is that we don't know how to start or where to start. We lack
Okay.
information, so we are thinking that maybe the AI could train us on how to use it.
Self.
Yeah, kind of self-learning thing.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Maybe, Viveta, can we ask the representatives to type this in Slido?
We will lose time.
Like, no, not now, but even
after.
after.
Yes,
because
you
I
can
wouldn't
do
like
so.
to, I mean, this is great, and
I
I wouldn't
think
like to lose it.
they're really tired. They will not do
Yes.
it, but you can do it because we will use it.
We will share
Okay.
with everyone.
So in this table, I try to be as unethical as possible as an academic, and I brought them many challenges. So I'm lucky to be alive. Go ahead, your ideas.
Okay. So this is it. I'm just feeling the trick, yes, that you're provoking us all the time. So, we are academicians, yes.
Well
So, first, we put it to general. So the first one was the routine. We would like ChatGPT or any AI take out of us. But then we decided to be more concrete, and the next ideas are correcting papers and giving proper feedback to students. Detailed feedback. It's not just correcting. Yes. Another option is analyzing statistical data, but not as deep as doing something that you can put as a paper and your name on it, but something intermediary that you will work with and have right to put your name. Although we were very much provoked, I should say. Yes, summarizing for research, which is also very useful sometimes. And finally, which is the one which we like most of all, is if you have too many classes and you're depressed, then you can ask AI for psychological help.
Okay. Okay, fantastic.
My job is very boring.
Yeah, I don't want to speak because you will kill me. But the truth is that we try to make whatever facilitates our work as academics, it's very ethical in the end. Anyway, so last table, LSPs.
Yeah, we've kind of put key notes up there, but I'm mixed up, so sorry.
I'm late.
That's fine. That's fine. No worries. No worries. Just go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so we started our conversation by talking about how we all currently use AI, or whether we do or not, and that was quite interesting. I won't go into detail, but some people have sort of said, well, I'm not really using it at all, where others use it in sort of everyday workflows. So that's quite interesting start. And then we spoke and we talked a bit more about if we had the ideal, what would be the ideal? And one of the issues that came up really, and it's been said already, is getting the quality assurance. It's that part that seems to keep coming up, and how and when does it happen? So within the TMS included, followed by AI, at which point could a user actually get their own quality control checker, which they'd be confident with, or could it be implemented at that stage rather than as a separate platform? So that was something we wanted to understand more about, what the possibilities are. And then we talked, a good question was AI, the definition of AI. Obviously we've talked a lot about this, but the idea of can we lump it all under one bracket AI, or how specific do we get? So for instance, someone was talking about Microsoft AI, ChatGPT, but or AI in translation. So how much do we hone down to what AI we're talking about? Just more knowledge, I guess, on that, and of how which AI we're talking about and where it was something that came up. And then coming back to the confidence in the LQA, that's come up again a few times, as well as I've forgotten your name. It's gone, sorry.
Lucia.
No
worries.
Lucia mentioned a great one, which was within the TMS system, when you're then looking at the AI section, can you, and I don't know the answer, someone here might know, but can you personalize prompts, or is it such a big processing system that they're preset and you can't, personally amend them or use them within the translation and the AI section? So I don't know the answer to that, but that was a question people here may know if there are possibilities for that.
Okay, they don't allow us more time. I need to apologize, but I would like to ask for a favor, if I'm allowed. Can we open the Slido? Can we close everything if you want, but just allow them to play with the quiz on Slido, just to show the slide? Yeah, so you connect to Slido, and there is quiz about AI. We wanted to have the winner, but we will see later. So it's 5 minutes game. Okay, the best was lost. Anyway, so Lucia, where is it? Just the quiz. Yeah. Thank you very much.